What's up guys, and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make this low poly and cartoonish beautiful scene in Blender. I think you love it. So if you are new for this channel, don't forget to subscribe and like this video to share for other people. So let's get started. Okay, the first object we need is a plane. So Shift A, add a plane, then scale it up uh, by 20 times. After we did that, now it will be like bigger. Then after we did that, go to edit mode, then subdivide it a bunch of times, like 100 times. After we did that, we are making something like landscape. Uh, so turn on proportional editing, then click on one vertex, then grab it on the z-axis. You can increase the proportion, just play around with it until you get that landscape shape. After we did that, we have finished our landscape here. Get back to object mode, then right click shade smooth. After you did that, go to top view. Now we are going to weight paint mode. So first of all, go to vertex or object data property, sorry, and then click on this plus button. After you did that, get to weight paint mode. After that, increase the weight to 1 and the strength to 1. Then paint the whole face with red. That means the density is 4. So after you did that, decrease the weight to 0. That will be like blue. So decrease the brush size. After that, draw the way that you want to make it like the clear way from the grasses. Then now we will have something pretty good. Now it's solid. As you see, now we have something disturbing. So to fix that, select that blur brush, then click on that sharp edges to smooth them out. It makes a lot of sense when we make it like smooth. So just make it smoother. After that, sorry if there is noisy sound because it's my PC. Yeah, as you know, I'm not using a GPU. It's working on my CPU. So okay, after you did that, Shift A, add a plane, that's the grass and the width, then grab it on the x-axis out of the view, then click on your numpad period to focus on it, then rotate it on the x-axis by 90 degrees, then scale it up, scale it down on the x-axis, then start extruding to make it like a grass. Extrude, then scale it down just like this until you get that desired shape. Then finally Ctrl R on the middle here to add a vertical loop cut. Then right click, grab it on the y axis just a bit to give it some more sense. Then right click, shade smooth. After you did that, again shift D, make it on the y-axis, then go to edit mode, select all, and to make some randomness, so shift D, then right click. After you did that, change the pivot point to 3D cursor, shift S to, sorry, go to edit mode, shift S to cursor, select it, it will snap our cursor to the origin of our grass, so it's good. Then you can rotate it on the, you can rotate it, scale it, and move it according to that 3D cursor, and that's awesome. Then rotate it on the Z axis just as you want, scale it down, then shift D, then rotate it on the Z axis just like that. Make some randomness between them. After you did that, now congratulations, now we have some pretty good things. Oh, sorry. After you did that, get back to object mode. We have finished making our grasses, sorry, and add again a UV sphere, yeah, a UV sphere. Then make it absolutely low poly, decrease the segments, make it 16, the ring is 8, and it will be like good, but it's still high poly, so I will make the segment 13, sorry, and the ring is 5. This will be non-destructive thing. Then go to front view, grab it on the grab it out of that grass, then scale, oh sorry, change the pivot point to individual origins again, then scale it down, go to edit mode, then shift Z, select this vertices, then I to inset them. After you did that, extrude that stem down, then add a loop cut and play around with the shape to make it like more random. Okay, now we have finished our wheat. Okay, to make it on the land or with that plane, first of all let me rename this object wheat grass, then this grass 2. Okay, after you did that, now we are going to add a particle system, but first of all I want to add a camera, so add a camera. Then after you get your desired view, hold Ctrl and Alt 0, then it will snap that camera to your view. You can move your camera by using G on your keyboard, G middle mouse button to make it zoom out and zoom in, and press N on your keyboard, then under view select camera, lock the camera to the view, and now you will get some pretty good controls on it. So after you finish that, uncheck it, then get back to that, to your editing, select that plane, add, go to particle systems, then add a new particle system, change from emitter to hair, and then under render change the from path to collection, but we need a collection of our grass and wheat, so select this objects. First of all, let me show you something. Go to edit mode on the wheat, then select this bottom edges, then shift S to change it to that cursor. Then right click, set origin to 3D cursor, that our particle system will calculate our particles from their origin, so it should be on the bottom. Select our grass and do the same thing. Shift S, cursor selected, then right click, origin to 3D cursor. The same thing with this piece. Okay, after you finish that, select all of the grasses in the width, then click on M on your keyboard, then add a new collection called widths. Okay, after you added that collection, now we won't have any problem with this particle system. So select that plane and go to instance collection, then select that width collection, and its sound is horrible. As you see now, our width is lying down. To fix this problem, select your width, then you can, as you rotate it on that axis, you are not looking anything, because it's in object mode. To fix that, go to edit mode, then select let me enable overlays, then select all things. First of all, let me select this thing, then shift S, cursor selected. After it is that, select all, then change the pivot point to 3D cursor again. Then as you rotate it, as you see now, we are getting fixing point. So rotate it on the x-axis by 90 degrees, then get back to object mode, then now it will be fixed. As you see now, our particles are horrible. They are lying on every point of our plane. To add that weight paint effect that we made before, select our plane under the vertex group, click on that density, then select our group, and now we can see that pretty good effect here. But we are getting some very low amount of grasses and widths. To increase it, under children, change from none to interpolated. As you see now, it's so many. To decrease them, yeah, it's 10 is enough. And decrease the render amount to 10 also. Then I wanna scale down the last or this edges here. As you see now, they are a little bit thicker. Then scale it by 0, then it will be like 1 point. It will smash this vertices to 1 point. Then again S0, oh my god, my middle mouse button is getting horrible, I don't know why. Then scale it. Then after you do that, when you see to our grass, nothing looks good until we put it our camera to that desired view, and if we arrange it or make some differences between scale. So under the render settings. Scale randomness, there is an option called scale randomness. Then you can play with it. I think 0.6 is good for me, and you can increase the scale here. Just scale it up a little bit here. After you did that, now we have something to play with. You can play with the seed. Let me adjust my camera here. Control Alt 0, then select your camera, then grab it just like that. Just like that. After we did that, now we are making this lanterns. So to make them, it's, as you know, we shouldn't worry about it because it's low poly, so it will not take much longer render time, so don't worry on it. Then shift A, cursor selected, then shift A to add a cube, then scale it down along the X and the Y axis, then select the upper face 3, then grab it on the Z axis just like this. Just make it a little bit shorter. No, sorry. Scale it down again on the X and the Y axis, then Ctrl R to add a loop cut here, then 3, then extrude it along that axis. Again Ctrl R here. After you do that, go to face selection mode, then inset it, then extrude it on that way. After you did that, scale it on the Y axis to match it with the scale of that X axis, the X axis. So it matches really good. Then E, then immediately click on S, then it will scale it without extruding it out. Then grab it on the Z axis just a little bit here. After you did that, right click, subdivide it, then right click again, loop tools, then circle. If you didn't get this option, go to edit, preferences, then under add-ons search for loop tools, then it will appear. Check it and you will get it. Then extrude it again just a bit, and again extrude it, that's the glowing part, then scale it down for the last time, extrude it on the Z axis just a little bit. And now we have finished the glowing part of our lantern. Go to edit mode, and I wanna add some details for this lantern holder wood, I don't know. Ctrl R, then grab it up here, again Ctrl R here, then under face selection mode, hold Alt and click on that face loop, I don't know what does it mean. Then Alt E, then extrude the faces along its normal. Then now we will get some amazing or good detail. Just it's low poly, we shouldn't worry about it. Then now we have finished our lantern. Okay, I think we have finished all thing. Then scale it down, don't forget that, scale it down and enable that particle system for reference to move it just a bit like this, to cancel the Z axis movement, because it doesn't make sense. So just add some lanterns. But here is something interesting here. To decrease the render time and to have the same material properties, we shouldn't use Shift D to duplicate our lantern or object. Using Alt D, you can decrease your render time and um, have fun with material settings because it's awesome. Then so Shift Z, then make it just up here, then rotate it on the Z axis by 90 degrees. I think by 180 degrees. Then again rotate it on the Z axis to add some difference. G Shift Z on the Z axis, just play around with it until you get your desired view. GZ Alt D, don't forget that shortcut. Alt D is awesome. Alt D, then Shift Z, let me make it up here, RZ, G Shift Z, make it just a bit here, okay, G again, just play around with it and until you get that desired view. Then again Alt D. It's awesome. I really appreciate this shortcut key. Okay, after you operated your lantern, now we are getting to texturizing settings. Before that, Shift A to add a plane that's for a particle system, then grab it on the Z axis, then scale it up. After you did that, now go to first of all Shift A, add an icosphere, then under the settings decrease the subdivision to 1. Then now we will have something very low poly, then grab it on the Z axis, that will be out of view. Then select that emitter plane, then add a new particle system and change the render from hello to objects and select your ecosphere. Sorry, this keyword is okay. After you did that, now it will our plane will emit some icospheres. As you see now, it's very increase that scale just a little bit to make it more visible. Then increase the scale randomness just a bit to add that randomness. Then scale that plane. Then hit the play button. Okay, some particles are disappearing. Just increase that lifetime and it will be much longer. It will have much longer lifetime. When we go to that texturizing part, go to look dev mode. First of all, I will disable this particle system of our ground, and then select your lantern. After you do that, add a new material, click new, and then rename it as wood. Oh god, it's typing in Amharic. Wood. Then add a new material again, rename it metal, and again add a new material for the last time, then rename it glow. Then change the glow from principled SDF to emission shader. Then increase that strength to 10. under the that metal. First of all, change the wood color to something like wood, more darker thing, just like this, and select the metal and increase that metallic value to make it like metal. And go to edit mode. Then I'm lucky it's selected. Just assign that part of our mesh to that metal part, and now we will see that magic as we texturize this original or any copy of our the copied or duplicated object using Alt D. It will be nicely, and it will copy that material. Did you understand me? Okay. After you did that, go to edit mode again, deselect all, then hold Alt and click on that edge loop. Then it will select that face loop here. Then click on that glow, then assign them. Now we have finished our lantern. Just after we change the color to something beautiful. Select that icosphere. Where is it? Yeah, there is it. Select that, give it a glow material for that lantern, and select this switch, add a new material, and then change its color to green, more darker green. After you did that, go to top view, GX, go to top view, and go to edit mode, shift Z, then select that circular faces, then add a new material, then change its color to whatever you want. I don't know, but I wanna make it like bluish color. Then assign those faces. Then as you see now, we have something pretty good. I will increase the roughness up to 1. Select that grass, and select for it that grass material or green material, and the same as this grass, and click on that number 3 button. Then I will make it like more brighter color. Then now, after we did that, get to your camera view, then go to rendered view. Now we don't need that HDR, right? After you did that, under render settings, enable bloom, then enable screen space reflections, then select that plane and enable that particle system. And now we are not looking something that's the same, because as you see now, EV is not working that much good, but we didn't finish our texturizing part, so select that outground, then shift F3 to toggle to that material preview or shader editor, sorry. Then click on new, then shift A to add a noise texture noise, then drag that factor value, then let it go. This effect will be in version 3.1, so if you are using earlier versions you can't find it, just search for color ramp, then connect it to that factor value, then connect the color to the roughness. First of all, I wanna change that color to like muddy, so change its color just like this. Then now you can control the roughness amount in different parts of our mesh, our ground. As you see now, if we drag this black value, we will get something pretty smooth. So that's awesome. Just drag, I will drag this here, then this roughness here. Just play around with this until you get that your desired effect. Then shift the drag on that color ramp, then search for bump, then connect it with the height value, then connect the normal to the normal of that principled BSDF. Now we will get something pretty fake bumpers. So this is awesome. As you see now, we are getting something pretty beautiful. But decrease that strength to make it 0.5 or something like that. Then go to render the view. Then enable that particle system. And again, we are not getting that effect, our desired effect. Select that emitter plane on the output. Then click to I wanna make it like emitter, like moon shining, just like that. Then select that principled BSDF. Then shift S to replace it with another shader called emission shader. Then change the color something cool to something cool, and increase that strength here just a little bit, the roughness is too low, I think, this match, so I will decrease something like this, and now we will have something pretty good. But first of all, go to world settings, then under volume add a volume scatter. This is optional. That's to add volume or foggy like structure I said, oh sorry, environment. So drag the density down until you get that pretty good effect. Then select that plane and increase its emission strength to see more clearly, and again under the density decrease that until we get something pretty good. After we do that, I prefer using cycles to render this, but Eevee is working, but it's so dark, our scene is so dark, so I will use cycles for this render. And as you see now cycles is a lot brighter, so I will decrease that plane strength of light. It can work if we make it like the strength is 0, but I wanna make it some detail highlights for it, so I'll increase that for all one. Just increase that strength or decrease it, just play around with it. Then now after we did that, we have finished all things. Just I wanna decrease that density of our world because it's so dense. Just play around with it. 0.15. Oh sorry, 0.015. Pretty good. Okay, now I think we have finished. Just hit the space bar until that these particles go down, and then now we have this pretty cool some particles here, but we are not seeing that much particles. To add more particles, select that plane, then under particle system you can increase the number of the particles and increase that size to make it more visible. After you did that, let's get back to that grave mode. Let me turn off this scene world, and then after you did that, I wanna focus on this lantern, on this one. So select our camera. I wanna add like depth of field. So check depth of field. First of all, check its name. Its name is Q. So select your focus object. I wanna make it a Q. Then decrease that f-stop value, so you'll get something pretty cool, something pretty good. Okay, I'll grab this plane on the y-axis just to have some particles in front of my camera. After you did that, just you can render this image. So after you rendered it, to render it, go to render settings, then under max samples you can decrease or increase it, but I want to decrease it by 128. So it will be something pretty good. So to render it, go to render, then click on that render image button, and I'll see you after the render. Okay guys, it has finished rendering. You should have something pretty good like this. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, give the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.